Hi, best friends. I'm Tabby.
And I'm Caitlin, and today we are discussing The Flesh of the Sea by Gislason and Shelley Lavigne. And this is just a short little, spooky...
freak show of a book.
Yes! Oh my god. Okay, let me just go straight to Goodreads really quick. It has 112 ratings, and it's rated pretty highly, 4.21 stars. So, the back of the book says... June 25th, 1760. Jean-Baptiste, before I begin, I want to assure you that I am fine. In fact, you could say I'm in quite good spirits considering recent events. I'm afraid I found myself in quite the predicament, but it's been sorted out now. My ship was boarded by a group of what I soon learned were pirates. After Wilfred Bowen is denied entry into the Royal Society of London, he sets off on a mission to discover natural marvels and earn his place in the scientific community. But his mission is off to a rocky start when he's kidnapped by pirates, encounters parasitic wasps, and a host of other incredible eldritch creatures. On the high seas, Wilfred will need to find support within his new crew, survive dangerous encounters, collect scientific evidence of impossible beasts, all while tangling with his own complicated feelings for the friend he left behind. With every new discovery, a new mystery is unveiled, and Wilfred is left wondering if the greatest secret is perhaps what is hiding in the treasure room. And then also, I love this because it's pretty spot on. It says it was pitched as Our Flag Means Death meets Lovecraft Country. And that's pretty spot on. I love it.
This book has everything. It has pirates, gay lovers, and it has man-eating fish, man-eating birds.
And eldritch horror orgies.
Eldritch horrors. Yeah, a demon that takes over a whole entire city. Who knows? You name it, they got it.
This whole thing kind of... Oh, the last novella we talked about, too, we were like, this would have been, a good, D&D campaign. And so would this one.
Honestly, yeah.
Imagine the pirate crew is made up of, different, classes, and you just have to, defeat the eldritch monsters as a little squad.
Yeah. No, it'd be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a point to it. He's trying to get into the society, but has found the journey of a lifetime instead.
How would you rate it?
I gave it, honestly, I gave it a 7.54. I'd probably give it, closer to an 8, an 8.3 out of 10. I did like it. It was very fun. It was freaky. It was a wild ride from start to finish. Again, I'm not really sure. Not really sure what the whole point of it was, besides he was...
Just vibes.
Yeah, it was just vibes. I loved it. I like that it was written in, a letter format to each other. It was just correspondences back and forth between some star-crossed lovers, and that was great.
Yeah. No, I would rate it a 7.6 out of 10. I liked it. I just think there were some things that I wanted that weren't actually the vibe of this story but would have made me love it more. But I was obsessed with the Lovecraftian vibes. I always am. I loved that it was a gay little story because Happy Pride, and also I loved the letter format as well. We learned a new word, and that is epistolary. And epistolary means a story that's written in the form of letters being exchanged. So that's what this is, and I love it.
How exciting.
It's original. It feels like we're spying on them, kind of, from the outside, and I like it.
It is. I love just to be a fly on the wall between these two men's correspondences. And they're developing love for each other throughout these letters.
Admitting that there's something between them.
The yearning. I love yearning.
Bring back yearning.
So there's not a lot of characters. There are a lot of characters, but they're not all super important or relevant to the story.
Yeah.
So the first one is Wilfred Bowen. He is, I would say, probably our main character here.
Agreed.
Wilfred is just a happy-go-lucky dude. And when one door closes, another one opens. He's like, you know what? I wasn't meant to get into this society right now, so I'm going to travel the sea.
He's not going to let that change his passions and his goals in life.
And there were so many times where I'm like, Wilfred, you are on death's doorstep. But he didn't look at it like that. That was an opportunity. And he was like, I was kidnapped by these pirates. However, They think I'm a doctor.
Yeah, no, it was so funny because his vibe the whole time, like, he is such a golden retriever of a man. Like, he is just always positive about everything. Like, even when they're experiencing these monsters, he's like, it was pretty sick, though, because, like, I don't think anyone's ever seen these before. So, like, I'm the first to discover them, even though they tried to eat me and killed a few people. It was still cool in the name of science.
He's like, I put one in a bag. I keep it in this bag.
So I'm going to bring it home and show you, Jean-Baptiste. I loved, like, again, he and Jean-Baptiste, they've not, like, obviously, it's, like, 1760. They haven't, like, openly expressed their love for one another. They haven't even admitted it privately, though. Like, there's, like, this blossoming thing between them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, man, I sure do care for that guy. And then Jean-Baptiste, he's like, he's so worried for him, and it makes him realize that his feelings go beyond friendship. Like, he is worried, he wants him back, he wants him near him. And so to just see that, like, unfurling was delicious.
Well, and this story keeps referencing, like, this one drunken night they had together that I think really kick-started this, like, romance between the two of them, where they got drunk, and, like, both of them wanted it to go farther than it did, but
wouldn't, like, say.
Yeah, just no one was willing to make the next move. And so I think that's what really sparked Will's bravery in starting a new life for himself. I don't know. I love him.
I love him too. And I do also love Jean-Baptiste. I did think that he was trying his best because, okay, so he is in the society that Will doesn't make it into. Mm-hmm. And, like, he's trying his best to, like, balance that. People kind of, like, poke fun at him and his relationship with Will. And
that Will's, like, a fucking pirate now, and they're like, that's illegal.
Like, that's illegal. Your little weirdo friend or whatever, like, he's doing illegal shit. And Jean-Baptiste is like, don't talk about my man that way. But yeah, like, just seeing Jean-Baptiste, like, eventually gather the courage to, like, go after Wilford, like, that's honestly so romantic. Like, oh my God.
I love it. I love that he came to save him in the nick of time with this weird group of, like, people from a different type of society that have an all-seeing eye, and
that was crazy too.
That was really cool.
They both went on extreme adventures, and it's beautiful. But what was another thing that I was, like, eating up is, like, Jean-Baptiste was getting so jealous because Wilford's like, yeah, and there's this really muscular man named Barlow who, like, he's always, like, hanging out with me and, like, telling me how much he loves my friendship. And Jean-Baptiste is like, absolutely not.
He thinks I'm, like, very handsome. Jean-Baptiste is like, I'm gonna fucking crash out.
I loved it so much. And I wanted so badly for Wilford and Barlow to be lovers as well, but it never happened that way.
I know. Oh my God. I just wanted them to sleep together once.
Just at least once, just to add to Jean-Baptiste's, like, angst and jealousy. I think it would have been perfect. But yeah, the crew in general was, like, crazy. They were wild. The only one that I, like, was attached to was Barlow, and that's because I just wanted him to get together with Wilford. But the rest of them, I was like, eh.
I just love that all of the pirates were, like, a little bit gay for each other, and, like, many of them, like, did develop their own relationships, and they were all in love.
That's true.
With themselves, and also with the creature that they kept in their basement, and
yeah.
And that was weird. That really jarred me. I was not expecting it to be a giant fleshy jellyfish eldritch monster that they kept in a pool down below.
That really freaked me the fuck out.
And they're like, you know what, Wilford, you've really earned a spot on this crew. We're going to give you a shot with the goddess, or whatever her name was. I don't even remember. And Wilford was like, you know, actually, no thank you.
He was, like, slowly backing out of the room.
Like, they're all getting jerked off by this jellyfish creature, and he's like, oh.
Like, y'all got some nice dicks, but I'm gonna head out. You have fun now. Be safe.
Like, y'all let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
I'll be out here.
And we can have some dinner or something. Yeah, okay, so you and I, We both love a good, like, monster romance, but, like, not like that. Not like that.
No, that was weird.
Because, like, a monster romance for me is, like, the monster itself is, like, actually, like, romancing the person, and they're like, complex, you know, like, they've got, like, some emotional build-up going. What this was just scary and Lovecraftian.
And wrong.
Yeah, and sin against God. And I loved it. I did, but like I said, the thing that would have like made this the perfect story for me is if it was a more of a romance, and there was yearning, but there wasn't actually like romance and payoff. And so that's the only thing I was missing. This was very much just like adventurous and spooky at times, and I did enjoy it for what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my only complaint.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, other than that, like, the pacing of the book was really good. I felt like I was always very intrigued in what was going on. There were so many fun adventures that Wilford got to go on, like the man-eating fish and the man-eating birds.
Everything eating men.
Everything is gonna kill you. And then finally we get to this spooky little town, and like everything's boarded up and everyone's scared, and there's just husks of people everywhere, and they're like, yeah, there's a demon afoot.
I love it.
And they're like, fuck yeah.
That's what it was. It was adventurous and spooky, and it had a hint of yearning as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And one other thing that I loved about this book is the cover. And I know that you're literally, they say, don't judge a book by its cover. But guess what? That's why I bought this book. That's why I discovered this gem. And so I cannot regret it, and I'll do it again.
It was free on Stuff Your Kindle Day.
It was. And I said, that one's coming home with me. It's gorgeous.
And it was so good. I definitely recommend.
I do recommend. Everyone should read this if you love a good Lovecraftian horror. And pirates.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Join us next week as we discuss Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is her third and final installment in that series.
And then the week after, we will be discussing Entity by Meg Smitherman, which is another spooky little sci-fi horror novella. It's what she does best. We are so excited to share it with you all.
Yeah, speaking of spooky and creepy short little stories. So go ahead, get started on those books if you haven't already. We'll talk to you next time, and as always,
let's get lit.